Friday. We know the old saying, if only I knew then what I know now, right? Well, if you could tell your younger self anything about chasing dreams, reaching success, what would it be? Would you tell yourself to stress less, save more, or would you just ignore advice altogether? We decided we'd dive into that in Real Talk today. Of course, we have our fabulous Kara Kinnear. Author Dina Babel is here, and Larry Watts decided to stick around. Yes. Okay, so this author, Elizabeth Day, recently published an article focused on success. She shared a few things she wishes she would have known about success, you know, back in the day when you're younger. So see if you've experienced any of these same lessons. We're just going to dive right in. So if you live your life according to what other people think, you're not living your life. You're trying to live theirs. This seems like a no-brainer and something we've talked about on the table before, right, Kara, with social media.
Yeah.
So have you ever gauged your success based on how others gauged it? Larry?
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, it's human nature.
Right.
And especially it's been accelerated with the social media because everybody wants to compare now.
Right.
You have a tool for comparing yourself to others, and even though it's detrimental to your well-being and your success, you do it anyway.
Right. You still find yourself doing it. Although I think I'm a lot less.
Now I don't care. Back then, you know,
back then,
if I was a kid with
started.
social media, I'd be dead.
That's the scary part.
It is.
The kids.
Yeah.
Like with this crazy Momo challenge and all this stuff. But
What's that?
you don't want to know. We don't want to talk about it.
Yeah.
But
Hold
I want to do it.
I'll tell you.
No,
you
it's don't. They're making kids do dumb things. And yeah,
Momo?
we'll talk about it, yeah.
I think that we compare ourselves, and depending on where women are in their life, if they're really happy, if they're seeking something in their job, whatever it is, and maybe you haven't gotten there. Like I was a little bit of a late bloomer with writing books and everything, and now as a writer, you see all these writers and they're like, oh, I'm doing this and this is coming out and then I'm going to speak here and I'm going here, and you're like, okay, I got to go find another speaking engagement. I got to do this, I got to do that, and you kind of forget that you're just a talented writer and you're just writing, and that's really what you want to do anyway.
Right.
So you can get stuck in the storm a little bit.
Yeah, but how do you know? I guess this is what I think of when I think of if you're achieving success or if you're happy or proud of yourself. It's like, how do you take the advice from other people but not let it affect what you really want to do with your life? Like when I was younger, would I have went to journalism school if my parents hadn't pushed me in that route? I don't know. I mean, I'm glad that I did, and they were right. They were indeed right. But then you think about oh, when you're younger, you have all these crazy dreams, and then it's like, how do you give somebody the appropriate advice without squashing any of that?
I don't think you can.
Yeah.
When you
I think
have
you
to
can.
know all the options.
In order to appreciate success and learn the lessons of success, you have to fail.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you have to have adversity.
Hard sometimes.
Right.
Trust.
Really hard, yeah.
Yeah, so when you fall, I've been successful, and then I wasn't. And now I just want to be left alone. I did. I learned the lessons of success, and do I want to pay all those prices again? No, but I'll find a way to do what I like and make a good living at it.
Right.
And be peaceful, because I don't need to climb the ladder anymore.
Well, what was the hardest lesson that you learned during the period when you had sort of fallen, or however you want to look at it?
The hardest lesson?
Yes.
All right, don't be an idiot. Don't be a jerk to people.
Right.
Don't be a
that
jerk to
seems like
people.
Well, of course.
But everybody's a jerk to people at some time.
at some
I
point.
certainly was one of the biggest jerks in the history of Atlanta radio, but guess
You feel
what?
like you were?
Yeah, I mean, that's how I'm perceived by a lot of people, even though you know me personally. You know I'm the sweetest man on the face of the earth.
Yes, he really is.
I'm like a god to you, right?
Yeah. Yes. I was like, Larry's coming. No, but I mean, well, people just have to know that's part of a shtick and a persona.
You have to. The world has a way of saying, oh, you put it out there and boom, there's a forehand to your head.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, and that does tie into our next one, just talking about attracting criticism as well as praise. Because if you are successful in whatever field that you choose, that will happen. So has it ever seemed like the more eyes on you that you have, the more critics that you have? I can say yes, for sure. 100%.
Look at all the people hating on us right now.
No,
Look at all the critics right now.
By the way,
I got a nose here.
We don't want you. No, don't say that. We don't want you hating on us. But go to 11alive.com/vote and please weigh in on our poll. Have you ever felt guilty when you reward yourself with something tangible? Yes, splurges are frivolous. No, I deserve it, honey. We're going to get to that point in just a minute. But getting back to the praise, the criticism, right? The more exposed you are, the more you're going to hear it, good and bad.
I think
Oh, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No.
I think you got to know, like what he said about not being scared to fail, but also that in this generation specifically, our generation, you did one thing and you that's what you did.
Yeah.
Now you can try everything. So if you find something else you're passionate about, go try it.
Right.
Failing is an option. You know how Sarah Blakely says all the time what her dad told her. What did you fail at today? I think that's so interesting because you got to know that you're not going to be great at everything because then you find your passion.
Right.
And it's great advice.
Yeah.
But
And that involves patience, and we have a very instantaneous society. So
Yeah.
it's
Well, not
it's a
when you
little
get
more
old and
difficult.
tired. I'm like, I'll wait.
That's correct.
But Kara, what's
Well,
your
I was
point?
to say, failing is what taught me to, like, anything great that I have done came after something that I definitely
True.
failed at. So it's necessary, I think, to progress in your life.
Right.
Yeah.
Getting back to the more eyes on you, and that kind of goes back to your point at the pinnacle of your career, and all eyes, all ears listening to you on the radio. You're going to have those critics. You know, you're going to
Right.
have. Unfortunately, sometimes they're more vocal than the people who.
Sometimes
just,
you're married to them. You know.
Yeah. Hey, that is true. That's a topic for another day, Larry.
Oh, yeah.
No, but it's true. I mean,
Yeah.
I think you just have to you have to know that, and you have to kind of steel yourself against to it and what really matters. What really the messages in our own head matter.
The first time I was in a different market, and the first time I turned on a local radio station, and they were talking about me on the radio, saying they hated my hair, they hated my voice.
Wasn't me.
Yeah, it was not Larry.
It was another part of the country, but and I remember crying, and I remember it struck me in such a way because I had never heard anybody talk about me on the radio before, and then I called my husband and I told him, and he was like, wait, first of all, they were making fun of things that like don't matter.
Right.
Like,
What were they saying?
And I was like, I like my hair.
Just to kind of like,
but just like they were making
superficial-
fun of me about stuff. And then he was like, did you ever think you'd have a job where people would be talking about you? Like, that's
right.
great.
And that's our
I was
next
like,
point.
oh,
You're
it
provoking
is?
discussion.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, right? I mean, do you
Well, the
feel
good
like
news is that I bet you those guys are being movie extras right now. Punishment.
Larry,
Huh?
that's
What?
a good thing.
What?
No, but right.
Sounds
So,
cool,
well, you know what
actually.
they say: if somebody's talking about you, hey, it's
Yeah.
I think there also comes emotional maturity, where you
Yes.
start paying attention to what you react to and how it affects other people.
Right.
And the quicker that you can go, look, I'm cool with myself, I'm not going to bring everybody down
Right.
with me, even the hecklers or whoever, and you
Yeah.
can bounce back. Then you kind of know who you are.
Exactly.
And you got to know, okay, I can emotionally handle this. I can, if I'm upset, I can be upset at 4 o'clock today. Right now, I have to do this.
Yes. We're skipping down to number 6 for the sake of time. Every time you achieve something that comes with a monetary reward, spend a portion of it on something tangible.
Yes.
Something you can look at, wear, or hold. Yes, have you done
Yeah.
Oh,
this?
yeah, you got to. It's a monument to yourself.
But I mean, actually, I think Jim would disagree with this because
Jim, your husband?
Yeah, I think he would
What does he
disagree.
say?
Well, Jim is just so smart with his money. He would say, you know, can't you find another way to kind of
Hey, it
write
costs
down
money.
Well,
You
I
get
don't
a
know.
plaque. What are you going to do?
I don't know. My
plaque.
first book that I wrote, I bought these earrings.
Dang,
And I
that's
bought
nice.
them. No, I bought them because I wrote the book about my dad, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, I need a momentum to say, I did it. This is what I did.
Right.
So there's something to that.
There's something
There's
cathartic
something
and-
cathartic about something you're really proud of
Right.
and cementing it by getting a little bobble or
Right,
something.
right. Kara,
I
have you
haven't done
ever?
it, but I'm going to do it right now.
Come on,
Yeah.
diamond
What are you going to
earrings,
get? What are you
girl.
going to get? What are you going to get?
Yeah,
What are
I
you
don't
gonna-
know. I don't know.
Well,
But
carrot diamond earrings.
And look
Bottom
at that.
line.
Splurges are frivolous. That would be Jim. He weighed
No,
in
I
on that.
deserve it,
And then
hunty.
no, I deserve it. Yes, and we want you to. I mean, these are all really good good ones about success. Talking about the 3 Ps: passion, prestige, and pay. You know, we want you to weigh in on some of these successful traits and you know, maybe some of the things that have worked in your life. I wish we did have more time because you talked about following your passion and oh, if this isn't working, I'm going to switch to that. Doesn't that cost money though? How can you really afford to do that?
It does, but where you spend your money is where your passion is. Because if someone says this is going to cost money and you're like, okay, I got to put the money here because I want to do this better, it'll answer the question for you.
Okay. I want you again. That was Jim's voice in my head because.
What's his
Jim
3
is
Ps?
doing a number on this woman.
No,
It's unbelievable.
listen.
No, in a good way because I'm way too much this way.
But what's
He's-
his P? His P is a paycheck. Like if you know his P, like I know what mine is, prestige. Hello, everybody.
Yeah,
So
okay.
I like to be able to be noticed or for what I'm doing.
Okay.
Where he might say, you know what, making
Okay.
money is more important to me.
Okay, got it. Interesting. All right, wow. Weigh in on our Facebook page. We would love to hear from you. And Trending with Trent is coming up next, and he's a success.